Hello, music fans out there, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Black Spinner Podcast. And joining me today is Al Horta from Be Cool or Be Podcast Out. How's it going, Al?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on, Andy. It's going great.
Yeah, hey, well, thanks for joining me, man. I know that this is going to be a very trying episode by two legendary bands
Ooh,
that are both prog rock giants, if not prog rock giants, almost prog rock inventors.
yeah,
We're
definitely.
talking about Genesis, and yes, today's episode we're going to do a band battle. What we're going to do is we're going to these albums coincide pretty well with each other by year of what these bands release. So we are going to battle it out and see which band comes out on top. And
Okay.
without further ado, what's going on with your page over there on YouTube? You got a new show up there, don't you?
Yeah, I just went to go see a band called Transatlantic, which is one of the 1,000 side bands that Mike Portnoy is involved in. But it's a great band. It's got Neil Morse, who used to be in Spock's Beard, Neil Morse Band, and Flying Colors, which is another band that he has with Portnoy. It's got Pete Travis, who's the bass player of Marillion. And right now I'm having a brain fart who the guitar player is, but he's really good too. He's from a couple of different bands. And he was fantastic too. When I saw them live this past Saturday here in New Jersey, they played a 3-hour plus set.
Wow.
They had done their latest album in its entirety, and then took a break, and then came back and did some other stuff from their catalog. I'm not really that well versed in Transatlantic. I kind of went in there kind of blind. I mean, I've maybe heard a couple of things here and there by them, but I mean, they blew me away musically, and I'm definitely like going to be picking up some of their albums and listening to them more. So, I had gotten like free comp tickets, through like a friend of mine. So I went there, and they actually ended up being nice orchestra seats, and my friend and I we checked it out. We were just blown away. I mean, Mike Portnoy, I mean, he's always like has quality bands, musicians with him. So, I went in there expecting nothing less. So, but yeah, man, they're great. Transatlantic, check them out, man. They were and honestly, man, this is like a very small tour. Like, I'm very fortunate that they actually played in New Jersey, because I think they're doing only like maybe 6 or 7 shows. That's it.
Wow.
North America.
Yeah.
And then they're doing like something called Morse Fest, which I think Neil Morse runs that. And I think it's a bunch of prog bands on a festival. And then they're doing Cruise to the Edge, which is a ship that's all progressive bands that are on a cruise. And I'd like to do that one day, go on a cruise ship, some sort of musical cruise ship.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing like the Kiss cruise one time, but I don't know. Things never lined up for me, and financially, and it's expensive to go on one of those things.
Yeah,
actually,
it is.
especially the Kiss one.
Oh yeah, I bet it is.
And but Cruise to the Edge, man, that would be like cool. Or then there's another one, the Monsters of Rock cruise.
The Monsters of Rock cruise.
Yeah, which would be really cool. That's like up my alley, like all like hard rock
Yeah.
bands and stuff like that. So, and like a lot of great 80s bands and stuff. So, but that was my weekend. I saw Transatlantic. I got my YouTube channel, so the whole show is posted up there for anybody who wants to check out the video.
Yeah, I will check that out. Definitely.
Subscribe to my channel and enjoy it.
Sure will. Hi, Kate. How's it going? This Friday, my wife and I went to go see America, a band that I never thought that I'd ever get to see. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It really was. They still have that the original 3, and then of course they did have a couple of guys to fill in with backup guitars and drums.
Yeah.
And a couple, but man, they sounded great. The vocals were still there. It's fantastic. I've always enjoyed their music.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention on like sort of Transatlantic was Saturday, and then Thursday I had seen John Fogerty, who was fantastic.
Yeah, dude, how was that?
Oh man, he was. I gotta say, I think he's 76 years old,
Is
and
he?
he still has like energy, and his voice is still there. He runs around the stage, man.
He
He's got
does.
his son's playing guitar with him. I could have sworn like his other son's playing bass with him now too, but I'm not really positive on that. I could have sworn like he mentioned like both his, well, actually another son of his came out and did vocals on like one or two songs. So I don't know how many kids he has. Maybe he has 3 kids, but the one son on the guitar is great. But
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
awesome, man. I mean, he has Fogerty has so many great hit songs, and
Hmm.
just from the Creedence catalog alone, but even a lot of solo hits too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, for a guy at his age, he was like, I hope I have his energy. So
I know
he
that
looks
I won't
great,
because I'm
too.
already tired.
I'm already tired.
Yeah, I get tired already. No, I've seen him a couple of times during the past 5 or 6 years, and man, you're right.
Yeah.
That dude runs up and down the stage. He
Yeah.
plays fantastic. He
And
sounds great.
you know what's
He's
funny
very
too, man?
personable.
You know what's funny too? He wanted to do a guitar solo, and he was like doing tapping, and like I was like, dude, he's playing like Eddie Van Halen type of shit.
Dude.
It surprised me. I was like, holy crap! But then I guess he was messing around, but he was tapping, and I mean he was great, man. He's pretty underrated as a guitar player.
Oh yeah, he really is.
Yeah. So I mean he was jamming out, man. So
And it sucks that CCR shafted him like that because that band could have just easily been called John Fogerty because he did it all, man.
yeah, I mean, what are they really without him, man? It's like,
Yeah, exactly. And then they all wanted to do their own thing, which led to their last album called Mardi Gras. And he said, sure. So they all divided the songs, and I think he only had 3, and it was a horrible album because the other guys' songs were horrible.
Oh wow.
But he let them because that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love John Fogerty. I love CCR. I think it's a fantastic band.
Yeah.
And so that's about it for me. Was that Friday was great. I really enjoyed it, and it was a free show. So,
Well, so where in Texas was it?
in Houston.
Oh, in Houston. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what was it like? It was a free show. Like where? Like it was like a park or something.
Yeah,
or
a park. It's called a Miller Outdoor Theater, and every weekend they've got like shows out there. It either be concerts, opera, ballet, or whatever, and it's big stuff. And actually, next year they're going to have their 100th anniversary.
Oh wow!
And it's always been free ever since it started, and it continues to be free from donors and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, I've seen them. Los Lobos has been there. I saw Chubby Checker, which was really cool because we got to meet him. Dude was like almost dying after the show.
Oh,
there was a long ass line to meet him, and he stayed out there and signed things and took pictures with people. It was pretty cool to see him.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a neat place to go to. All right, let's get to the subject at hand, which is Yes and Genesis.
Yes.
This is going to be a homework in itself. So let's get started. In 1969, they both came out with their debut albums. Yes came out with their self-titled Yes album, and Genesis came out with From Genesis to Revelation. This was a pretty good album, but you can tell that they were still trying to find themselves.
Oh yeah.
Genesis was really getting their feet wet, and Steve Hackett wasn't even on here yet. They still had Anthony Phillips and Michael Rutherford, being on guitars, and Phil Collins wasn't here yet either.
Yeah.
So it was still trying to see what kind of sound they were going to do. So there was a lot of Anthony Banks keyboard filling out the sound landscape. When it came to Yes, their debut album was already Yes. There were already guitar solos, and it was more. The thing with these two bands is that even though they came out at the same time and they're both prog, they both have different kinds of music. Genesis is a little bit more textured and more landscape, when Yes is a lot more upbeat, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit more bouncy. So for my first album, my first pick, I would go with Yes. their debut album over Genesis' debut album. Well, what do you think, Al?
I'm going to agree with you on that. Yes, I'm going to pick the Yes's first album. To me, the from Genesis to Revelation, they were more right at that point. It was kind of like that '60s pop kind of sound.
It kind of reminded me of the Shades of Purple album.
Yeah. Very keyboard driven.
Yeah.
No, the guitar wasn't heavy or anything yet. It was just, and it didn't have Steve Hackett yet, obviously. Yeah. Oh, the first Yes album didn't have Steve Howe either. It was Peter Banks, I believe, was on guitar. So I know they did a Beatles song on there, Every Little Thing.
Yeah,
on that first Yes album. But yeah, I mean, Yes was already. They were pretty much halfway there with their sound already. Whereas Genesis, it wasn't really there yet. They were just, like you said, finding their way. I mean, I think to me they started out more as a pop band, and then after that first album was really then when they started carving out there. I mean, I have, like I showed you before we went on air, I have this Genesis box set. Yeah. Which covers from 1970 to 75 the Peter Gabriel's, but they didn't include that first album in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not included in here because I guess they felt that wasn't really Genesis yet, So, and I think it was on an independent label as well. So, maybe that might be a reason too. But I mean, they didn't include it in that box set because they're really, like I said, it wasn't Genesis to them yet. But I mean, it's a fun listen, but it's not really one that I reach for. You know? But yeah, definitely the Yes album, the first album, Yes, is gonna be my pick as well.
Yeah. All right, so we're 1-1 on that one, and number 2, we're going to 1970. This is going to be Genesis Trespass.
Yeah.
Yes, this is where you're really starting to get into the Genesis sound, especially with the knife. With the way that it ends and looking for someone, and especially the knife, man, that extended, it goes on, and they're really pushing the keyboards. They're really pushing the guitar sound.
Yeah.
And Peter Gabriel's really starting to play around with his vocals there. And so we got Trespass by Genesis versus A Time and a Word by Yes, being their second one.
Yeah.
A Time and a Word. We're talking about this. You had spoke about when Yes did that cover of the Beatles, Every Little Thing. Yeah. You would not know that it was a Beatle cover the way they play it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's pure Yes. And they did the same thing to Simon and Garfunkel's America.
Okay.
And they make that, I mean, it's like you didn't even know that it was Simon Garfunkel cover. But this Time and a Word, the side 2 to me is their strongest side. It's got the title track and it's got Astral Traveler.
That's a great song.
Songs, yep. And these songs are already 6 minutes plus. A lot of them are. So, but when you're putting this against Trespass, what do you think, Al?
Well, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna pull out Trespass here too from this box set here.
Yeah, sure.
Here's the CD of it. And it's cool. It comes with like a DVD of the album and surround.
Yeah.
So it's a double disc. So, I mean, I think I might go with the Yes album. I think I might go with Time and a Word over Trespass. I mean, the Knife is like really the only song on here really where they're starting to get that Genesis sound. They're starting to go. It doesn't have Phil Collins yet either. Still, I think John Mayhew was the drummer, I believe.
Yeah, it was. John Mayhew.
And it's not to say that this is a bad album, but I think the Yes album, Time and a Word, I think is a little stronger. Like you said, it's got Astral Traveler on it, Time and a Word, No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed. So I think it's a little bit of a stronger album in my opinion. So I'm going to lean towards Yes on this one.
I too am going to go with Yes. I I really like earliest, and I like the back with that logo, which they'll use for years to come. That's great how they keep that intact. Right, so we got 2 for yes and nothing for Genesis yet. I say yet.
Now it's where it's going to start getting hard, man.
Now, in 1971, Genesis is going to offer up Nursery Crime. That check out the album cover with the chopped heads on the ground.
Yeah,
you know that's killer.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it really is, and
this is a tough one, man.
Yeah, it really is. This is on the Charisma label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe Hackett and Collins come in on this one.
Yeah, this is the first album where we see the classic 5.
Yeah.
Of the introduction of Hackett and Collins.
Yeah. And
man, you can see the difference, especially in the drumming. Man, Collins was a beast, man.
Oh, man.
He really was. And
but you got Bill Bruford and Yes too, man.
Yeah. It was
those are 2 prog rock giants right there, man. Yeah. Like drummers, And
guitarists. We're gonna have Howe and man, it's just and on Nursery Crime, it starts off with a musical box. That alone is killer, and it ends with the return of the giant hogweed. And then 7 Stones, which is a good track, and Harlequin.
Yeah.
And it ends with a fountain of Salmacis.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to pronounce these albums. These songs, because who knows what the hell they were talking about. Yeah. But man, it sounded so good.
Yeah.
So,
but then
Crime, we just talked about how great this album is. Nursery Crime.
And now go to the Yes album. And that's got some monsters on there, man.
Against 1971's The Yes album. Dude.
Yeah.
Great album cover too.
You got Yours Is No Disgrace on there. Starship Trooper. I've Seen All Good People. Those are like monster. Those 3 tracks right there.
Were on the radio.
Are on the radio, like they're hits.
They those songs kind of invented FM radio.
Yeah.
FM rock radio.
Yeah.
There's the inside of it.
And to be honest, man, yes, we're having those hits already. When you go to the Genesis side, man, they really weren't having hits on the radio. They were they were more of a very underground band.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they were getting popular in like Italy and like Europe, but over here, nothing on that, man.
No,
really.
Especially their touring and their stage presence.
Yeah,
it was hard to get through. Well, not hard, but with the costume changes and the persona that Peter Gabriel had on stage.
Yeah, this is where he starts to, really starting to come into his own stage presence, and with the makeup and the. He was way ahead of his time, man.
Oh yeah.
See, it's funny, man. Like I for years I've been seeing Tool in concert, and you can tell Tool took a lot of their ideas from these old Genesis shows, man. The way Maynard like makes himself up sometimes really reminds me of like Genesis era Gabriel, and even like the moves that he does and everything, you could tell like he was influenced by him. So, but like between these 2 albums, man, I don't know if you want to pick first or you want me to pick first. That's up to you.
Oh, that's easy for me. The Yes album. For me.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, man. I gotta go with the Yes album because Starship Trooper, Yours Is No Disgrace. They had those monster hits. And not to say the Genesis album, Return of Giant Hogweed, Musical Box, all awesome songs, but stacking it up to the Yes album, I still think the Yes album is stronger, man.
Oh yeah, again, it's got that bouncier, more of a not a pop feel, but easier accessible.
Yeah,
and the writing was easier to understand.
Yeah,
especially especially in Nursery Crime. And I'm not saying that Genesis is bad, it's just that
Genesis, to me, Genesis is a little more on the quirkier, weirder side. Like,
yeah,
I mean, if you're gonna compare, Peter Gabriel to John Anderson, I mean, John Anderson has a more superior voice, but you know, but Peter Gabriel also has like that. He's got that weirdness quality to his voice. It's really, and this is why I was saying, like, Genesis was a bit more underground. Like, nobody was really ready for that, man. Whereas Yes was a little more already refined, and they were like radio. They were already radio friendly by their third album, you know. Like so, you know. But yeah, I gotta lean to the Yes album. But
same here.
But like this is where it's getting tough now, man, because it's kind of it's gonna be really tough between choose between these two.
Yeah, it's gonna get tough. 1972.
One of my favorite album covers.
Foxtrot.
I love this album cover.
Yeah, dude, it's classic.
Yeah.
You know, there's video footage on YouTube too with Peter Gabriel on stage dressed as the wolf with the dress on.
The fox, right?
Yeah, the fox. Oh, what did I say?
Wolf.
The wolf.
That's fine.
And the back, man, it's just some badass stuff on here too.
I like the way the discs look on the CD. It's got the famous Charisma label on
it.
Really cool. Again, this has like another DVD portion of it, which has that video of your show you're talking about where he dresses up.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they were including concerts of that era, whatever album that this. So this is a Foxtrot era album on here.
So is that the DVD or is it
It's a DVD.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So on here it's got well for every album they had an interview with all of them discussing the album, like a reissue interview discussing whatever album, you know, whatever album it was. And then it's got Brussels, Belgium, Rock of the 70s, 1972, which was a concert. Then another concert at the Piper Club in Rome, Italy, 1972 from this tour.
Wow,
so,
okay.
Yeah, really cool, man. This box set's really, I just discussed the box set a little bit. So it's Genesis 70 to 75. It's in a green box. Now, I got this really cheap. I got it for like $25 or $30 probably maybe 6 or 7 years ago already. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think you can get this less than like $300-$400. It's really like up there. Like these things are out of print and they're fetching a good, pretty penny. So I'm kind of glad I got this because you know what? I had no Gabriel era Genesis at all, like on CD or vinyl. I was just getting into them, and I'm like, this guy had it up for like $25-$30. I'm like, what a great way to just get every Gabriel era album in one shot, you know. Now when I look at the price of this, I'm like, I'm glad I got it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah,
Foxtrot, good stuff. And live, dude. That's crazy.
What a great album, man. Watcher of the Skies, man, to open up. That's like one of my favorite Genesis. I mean, I think, it might change a little bit here and there, but I think if I'm going to pick a favorite Genesis album, I think it might be this one, you know. And Watcher of the Skies, what a great opener.
Yeah.
Like the mood that builds up with the keyboard and everything, and all of a sudden, dude, it's just nuts, man.
And on Foxtrot, they're starting to get a little bit faster and a little bit heavier.
Yeah. They're getting heavier. Yeah. Hackett's really coming into his own now. You know, Get Him Out by Friday, great song. Timetable, but Supper's Ready. That's the tour de force on this album, man.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And that might be one of my favorite prog epic songs of all time. You know.
I love how they bring back how it started because they got that extended middle piece.
Oh.
And then they bring back the ending.
Yeah.
How it started. It's like, wow.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But this is going up against Fragile, though, man.
Yeah.
It's just, this is like I said, now it's getting really, really tough, man. Who am I going to go with here? You know, I mean, if you want to talk about Fragile a little bit, go ahead.
And Yes came out with Fragile.
Yeah.
At that time. What else can you say about one of their masterpieces? I mean, Roundabout, South Side of Heaven, Long Distance Runaround,
Part of a Sunrise.
Yeah.
Dude, it's ridiculous. This album is ridiculous as well.
And I think this is Rick Wakeman's first album with him.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because before that was they had
mentioned who? What? You know what? It's right here.
It was the one that came back for like 90125.
Yeah.
Tony K.
Tony K. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the original. He was the original keyboardist, and then we'll talk about him when he came back. But yeah, he was on those first couple albums, and then Rick Wakeman comes in, and this solidifies like the real. And I think this is this Bruford's last one?
This is Bruford's last one until he comes back later on.
Yeah.
People, Yes does have a lot of lineup changes, but the lineup changes consist of people coming back.
Yeah.
Of the same band members. But yeah, man. So what do you think? We got Foxtrot against Fragile.
They're both you can't deny either of them.
This is why I wanted to do this.
I'm going with Genesis, man. I like Foxtrot a bit more because I love that they're getting darker, heavier, and to me, Supper's Ready, man. That's just like such a tour de force, to me. Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time hearing that, man. It just blew my mind, man. Like that song. So, yeah, I mean, just on the strength of that, I got to go with Foxtrot on this one.
All right, Foxtrot. I'm still going to stick with yes on this one.
Okay. And there's no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's really not, because I love Supper's Ready. I love Foxtrot, but man, there's just something about Fragile, just top notch, man.
It really is, man. I mean, I can really go either way, man, honestly, dude. But, I mean, this is really, I think, my favorite Genesis album. And just on sentimental value on that alone, I think I'm just going to lean towards Foxtrot. But Fragile's a fucking monster, too, man.
God. Yeah, I can completely understand.
I mean, both these bands, man, were just, I mean, nobody could touch these. They were like, I mean, this is why Rush, like, I read interviews on Alex and Getty, and I mean, they were really influenced by both these bands, They were really like around this time of Foxtrot and Fragile, they were really starting to get into them, and and you can hear it, man. And like some of the playing, like if you listen to Caress of Steel by Rush, like the Necromancer and things like that, you really hear like the Genesis influence in there, and
yeah, you really can. It's got kind of like that same kind of production to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a dark, murky, a little bit of production, but still the playing is like off the wall, man. You know? But I mean, I can go Fragile another day, man. Really, but tonight I'm gonna give Genesis some love on this one. I got to go with Foxtrot.
Yeah. And in 1973,
still tough
against 1972.
This is like peak Prague now, man. Like this era. Like
this is like, where they're just going at it. If they were going after each other, but Close to the Edge by Yes and Genesis Selling England by the Pound. And a note on the Selling England by the Pound. This has the first song by Phil Collins on lead vocal.
Oh yeah, it's what's the song?
More Fool for Me.
More Fool Me.
More Fool for Me. It. And it's more of an acoustic ballad.
Yeah.
On there. But Dancing with the Moonlight Night, I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe, a First to Fifth.
First to Fifth.
Dude,
the Battle of Epping Forest.
Side 1. Wow. And side 2, the Battle of Epping Forest. The Cinema Show.
Yeah. Some monsters on there, man.
And against Close to the Edge, that has only 2 songs on it, but
3 songs.
Oh yeah, 3 songs. I'm sorry. Close to the Edge, it takes up all of side 1 and side 2, and You and I, and then with Siberian Katrua.
Oh man,
Close to the Edge, Selling England by the Pound.
I think I gotta give the edge to Yes on this one.
Are you?
To Close to the Edge.
Yeah.
Those three epics they're exactly what they are. They're epic. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's a bad note on that album, man. You know, whereas Selling About a Pound is a great album too, man. I mean, but I mean, I know what I like. More Fool Me. Like the Collins song is okay. I think the Yes one's stronger. But damn, this is still a great album too, man. I mean, the Cinema Show is awesome. The Battle of Epping Forest, Dancing with the Moonlit Night. I mean, it's classic as well. But the edge goes to Yes on this one, Close to the Edge.
Yes.
No pun intended.
For me, first time I'm going to pick Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one of my first. This is one of my favorite Genesis albums. I spin this one quite a bit.
Again, man, there's no wrong answer here, bro.
No, this is great.
I find myself spinning this one a lot too. This is right behind Foxtrot for me, man. I mean, their sound is like solidified already. The classic, Genesis sound, man. They're really going for it, man. And it's just classic after classic. But yeah,
at this point, you already know what to expect, but there's still a lot of surprises in their stuff.
Yeah,
you got Yes on that one.
I do have the CD of this one.
Yeah,
which is it's also a deluxe. It's got the CD and DVD surround version.
Oh wow!
And listening to this in surround is pretty mind blowing.
I bet.
That maybe that's why Close to the Edge kind of beats out, because maybe I like the surround version better.
Because there's a way that you hear things, and that surround sound is just empty, man.
Listen, when you've heard albums a million times, there's still classic, but you get a burnout factor. But I must say, like, when I finally got like a nice surround sound setup, and I started collecting like surround sound versions of albums and stuff like that. Like, I heard Dark Side of the Moon a million times, but when I sat down and played the surround version, and you have the music just kind of swirling around your head, it just takes you on a whole other experience, man.
Wow.
And I can't stress enough, man. Like, if somebody has a surround sound set up, listen to some of your favorite albums. Try to seek out like some of your albums in surround. Nowadays, you could probably get like sometimes there's Blu-ray versions of albums that you can get when you get like deluxe box sets. Like I have the Rush deluxe box sets. It didn't get to my house yet, but it is on order. There's a Blu-ray in there. There's a new Atmos surround mix of the album. I can't wait to hear it. I've been hearing good reviews. I want to give a shout out to a YouTube channel called Life in Surround. For anybody listening that's kind of into surround and stuff, the guy on there, I can't think of his name offhand, but he's really, really cool, knowledgeable guy. He reviews all sorts of like surround sound albums, all the different formats that they come in, whether it be super audio CD, DVD audio, Blu-ray audio, whatever, dual disc. There's been a whole bunch of different formats through the years.
Right.
But I can't stress, like, Life in Surround is a great channel. If you're into like surround sound type of music, man, like subscribe to his channel because he's got like a lot of great reviews and stuff on there. I watch it all the time, man. So, but yeah, Close to the Edge is gonna be my pick on this one. So you're going Genesis?
Yeah, I went Genesis on that one. I just love that album. It's not as far out there anymore.
Okay.
When they reach that peak, it starts to be a little bit more understandable.
It's starting to be more accessible now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the music is still very, very unpredictable.
Complex, yeah.
Yeah, complex, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at. Whew. And 1974.
Yeah, this is Alan White's first album, right? Or was Alan White on Close to the Edge already? Right?
Who now?
No, Bill Bruford was still on Close to the Edge. Okay.
Yeah, Bruford was still on Close to the Edge.
That was his last album. So this one is Alan White's first album with Yes. So it's got Tales from Topographic Oceans. Okay.
Right.
Which is another great album, man. You know?
Yeah, it really is. This is Alan White. Yeah, you're right.
It's funny, man, how great of a run like these bands were having, man. You
Yeah.
know?
So we got Tales for the Topographic. I can never say it.
Topographic.
Topographic, but I can say pornographic easily. But I can't say topographic at all. Topographic
Ocean. Yeah.
Great album. Man, the album covers that Yes
Roger
has
Dean.
just amazing.
Roger Dean, man. He did some great artwork for them.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
Against Genesis, one of their all-time best, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Double album, concept album about Roel, who comes to New York City. And it's weird because a lot of times when you listen to a concept album, you can never catch the storyline, but you sure can here. And it's got the whole storyline to it, you know?
Yeah.
And The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway against Yes.
Tales of Topographic Oceans.
Thank you. Yes. Both double albums.
Yeah.
Both double albums. One has 20, I think this has about 20 songs on it. The Genesis. The Yes has 6. six songs on a double album. 6 songs. Which way are you gonna go on this one, Al? I thought that was gonna go one way until this morning. When people
I gotta go Lamb Lies Down, man. I gotta go Genesis on this one. Again, it could go either way. I mean, they're both phenomenal albums, man. I mean, you got to pick one, though. But I mean, tonight, I'm leaning towards Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
And this is the last album
with Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel, you would try to think that after listening to it, and now that we know what happened, it's like maybe he knew this. It's like putting all of his eggs in one basket, because his performance on here is just fantastic.
And you know what, man? When you listen to this, you can kind of hear hints of where Peter was going, like where he was going to go in his solo career, like with his first solo album, which is fantastic as well. Like I love that. His first couple of solo albums are great.
Yeah,
you do a whole show on like Peter Gabriel versus Phil Collins. I mean, we could do that, you know. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of hear, you know, hints of like where he was going, like with his writing. I guess he felt like he took his writing to the max as a progressive, you know, rock, you know, storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, shit, man. You can go either way, man. I mean, either album is awesome, but I'm going to lean towards Genesis on this one.
Towards Genesis. On this one, I'm going to lean towards Yes on this one. The reason for that, it's like this double album with just 6 songs.
Yeah.
It's like a summary of everything pushed together and putting almost like their greatest sounds onto one album. It was like because after this album, their sound is going to change. Their songs are going to become shorter.
Yeah.
So this was a change. Like, this is everything to this point put into one album. It's kind of like a compilation album, but really it's a studio album of their best. You know, that's how I always viewed this album.
Yeah.
And there's only 6 songs, but if you really listen to it straight out, there's so many songs that can cut into different songs, but they're all one song, but they all have different variations within one song.
Yeah.
Instead of one long same sound, it's not that way. It's cut into suites.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, the revealing science of God, you know, it's 20 minutes long.
But it doesn't feel that way. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. I mean, and then you got the Remembering, you know, which is another 20-minute song. So that's one record already, man. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And
They're all
when
like
this
20.
first came out, it was called being blown out and overindulgent.
Yeah,
But
which
whatever. I
a
love
lot
it.
of by this time in progressive rock, I mean, it was starting to get. Yeah, I could see where like people were starting to get self-indulgent or whatever. But I mean, the quality of music is still there.
Oh yeah.
But you could see why there was going to be a change coming with like the punk rock scene and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, man, every genre gets watered down. Every genre goes through, you start out kind of the big bang.
Yeah.
You have like these bands that are innovators and they really lay a blueprint. Then they have success. They start getting a little bit overblown, and then the ideas start running out, man. And you're going to see as we go on here, that's kind of happening a little bit, with these guys,
Yeah.
But it's
they
funny,
get
man, how
so
both
big.
of them. It's funny how both of them weathered the storm now.
Yeah. To still be legends, because really, if you look at music at this time, and yes, they introduced prog at this time, but there was really no other bands that were touching these two.
No.
They just weren't no one close.
I would say King Crimson, is the only other. But I think by this time they were already. Well, I mean, what year did this album come out? 75.
Which one?
Yeah. So I mean, I think by that time King Crimson was already ending. For the time being, for a few years at least.
Yeah.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer were already kind of fizzling out already. They were starting to go on a downslope. I mean, I think the peak era of prog was probably like 71, 72, 70, 73 was probably like that year was probably like the peak era, But now when you're starting to get into 1975, 1976, it's starting to get overblown and people are
starting to go down.
People are starting to get tired of it, But besides like a band like Rush, but the thing about Rush was they combined heavy rock with progressive. So they kind of forged like a new sound, melding the two together, so they were on the upswing by this time,
Oh yeah.
Next year they were going to be coming out with 2112. So they were on the rise,
Yeah. And these two were starting to slow down a little bit. Yeah. And then you'll see in the future what they had to do to keep going, because you can
streamline the sound, man.
Yeah, because there weren't that many prog rock bands that made it into the 80s. There wasn't.
No,
and they died.
And we'll discuss that as we get into those albums.
Yeah. 19 now. There's a big gap here.
Okay.
For Genesis, because there's a two-year layover.
Okay.
Because they're trying to find a new singer, because Peter Gabriel quit to go on his own. And they're looking for people. They're looking for people, and they didn't know that their singer was right under their noses. And they came out with A Trick of the Tail.
Great album,
dude. Oh man!
For the first album with Collins being the vocalist, still an unbelievable album. I mean, that might be one of Steve Hackett's shining moments. That album right there.
It really is. This is where Steve Hackett started to come out a little bit more out of the shadows.
I saw Steve Hackett a few years ago live. I saw him twice live, and I think one of the tours I saw him on, he was doing the whole Trick of the Tail album.
Oh wow!
It was fantastic, man. I mean, that guy. You want to? I mean, besides the Musical Box, which is a Genesis tribute band, I don't know if you've heard of them or not.
I think I have, yeah.
The Musical Box. So if they ever come in your area, go see them, because they recreate the Gabriel era Genesis shows. Like,
oh, wow.
they're actually authorized by like Peter Gabriel and Genesis guys.
Oh wow! You see that is cool. So something like that,
And I think Musical Box actually has Genesis' old stage shows. Like I think they have like parts of their old stage that they actually use. So they recreate it, but they're actually using. I don't know if Genesis gave it to them or if they probably bought it off of them or something. But they actually use props from the old '70s Gabriel era stage shows.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like that's. I mean, if you wanted. You're never going to see Genesis like with Peter Gabriel anyway. So this is the closest you're ever going to get. But on the other side, if you get a chance and Steve Hackett comes around to your town, go see him because he's friggin' fantastic, man. And he's got a great band with him.
Yeah.
He's got some guy that comes out, tall guy that like dresses like Peter Gabriel, and I mean, it's almost in a way like at first when I saw it, it was kind of comical almost like this guy was like in a flowing like outfit like Peter did like back in the '70s. I almost had to chuckle a little bit, but when he started singing, it was just like, damn, man, this guy is like unbelievable, man. So
this is a true,
he does that old stuff justice, man. So definitely catch him too.
Yeah, I sure will.
So yeah, Trick of the Tail, man, great album. Great album.
Let's go through these tracks. The first one with Phil Collins as lead vocalist, Dance on a Volcano, Squonk, Robbery, Assault, and Battery.
Unbelievable.
And the title track. Yeah. The title track, Trick of the Tail. This is just mind-blowing, man. The way that they came out stronger,
Yeah.
When they were thinking this might be the end of our band. In 1970, in 1976, and they just ended last week. They did their last show last week.
Yeah.
And I never got to see Genesis or Phil Collins, but
I had tickets to see them here in the New York area, but unfortunately at that time it was when my father-in-law passed away. So that was
like in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it was actually like in December sometime.
Yeah.
And I had to give my ticket up to somebody else, one of my friends, because I had to fly down to Florida and help my wife out. But I did see Genesis on their 2007 reunion tour when they first got back together after a long time away. And at that time, Phil was still playing the drums. He was able to play well and everything. So in a way, I'm kind of glad like that memory is intact with me.
Saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that one. So like, it's not like I'm sad that I missed Genesis. I would have went to go see them, but I'm not so sad because I did catch him when Phil was still able to play, so it's great. I did catch Phil on his last solo tour, and he already had to sit down and everything. So, but he sang great. His solo material was great too. So I got to catch his solo show, and
that's awesome.
So I got to catch him solo once, and I got to catch Genesis. So I'm happy, But I kind of wish you would have been able to see him, man.
Yeah. This
that's what video's for, man. You can check out a lot of great concerts, man, online.
Oh, dude, especially on YouTube, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy what you're able to see.
I gotta tell you, before the advent of YouTube, though, I was always collecting bootleg videos and DVDs because I have a friend of mine. He collected way back, like since the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, all through the 80s, before the advent of the internet or anything like that. So he had an immense collection. And he's like he played drums in a band that I was in. So me and him are still tight. And he was always like, yeah, come over, man. You can dub whatever you want, copy whatever you want.
That's awesome.
So I had a lot of Genesis, like actual like bootleg DVDs, that I had before like YouTube or anything. So I used to watch at home, and I was like, damn, man, they were great in the 70s, man.
Yeah. So it looked pretty clean though. I mean, like the bootleg stuff, it looked pretty clean.
Yeah. But now as YouTube has come in, I noticed like some of the older bootlegs that I had, some of it was a little generated. I mean, you could watch and the quality was a little rough, But now, like as time has gone on, people have gone back and they've discovered like the first generations or masters of like these videos. There's a great Gabriel era Genesis show that just recently got put onto YouTube, I think last year. And I mean, I can't believe, like, I had this on DVD, but this quality of the guy that put it up on YouTube blows away the DVD that I had for years.
Wow.
I think this guy probably found like a first generation tape or something, or even like the TV studio broadcast tape, because it's like as clean as like you can get for that era.
Okay.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, when I get off and I find it, I can send you the link to it.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely.
Yeah, but I love that YouTube is great, man, because there's a lot of surprises that pop out from people that are sitting on stuff and they post it on there. You know, it's unbelievable, man. What the world that's out there, and like, and you know, like a lot of these bands now, like they're putting out these deluxe editions of albums, and they're putting this stuff out now, you know, officially.
Yeah.
So they like, wait, man, might as well get in on the money, you know. So, but yeah.
There's a channel on streaming TV called QB, QUBI.
Yeah.
There's some really good Genesis clips from the mid '70s of them inside of a recording room.
Yeah.
They're just going through the songs.
Yeah,
it's amazing. The concerts that are on there. I saw Sabbath from '70, and
the famous Power show.
Yeah, is that the one where the album was still called War Pigs?
Well, he was singing. Yeah, the lyrics he was singing called Walpurgis. It was like a little bit different lyrics. Yeah, it was. I think it was right when like Paranoid was coming out, man, because they only had like the first album in Paranoid.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, 1970. That's another one I had on bootleg for years.
I saw that on that QB, and dude, it's fucking powerful.
Great concert, man.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about what Trick of the Tail's up against. Relayer by Yes.
It's a good album too, man.
And this was released the day that I was born, December 5th, 1974.
Wow.
Was when this was released. Powerful. It's a great album.
Yeah.
You know, again, side one, The Gates of Delirium. That's all they needed on that side.
20-minute epic, you know.
Yeah. And then side two, they finally cut it in half to 2 songs of 9 minutes each.
Yeah.
But Patrick Moraz takes over on this album.
Keyboards, right?
Rick Wakeman.
Yeah.
On keyboards.
Yeah.
But on Relayer, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's a pretty good album. It's phenomenal, but still, Trick of the Tail was just an amazing album for me. I'm going to go with Genesis on that one.
Yeah, that's my pick as well. I'm going with Trick of the Tail on that one. I overall, I think it's a much stronger album than Relayer. You know.
Yeah.
This is one Yes I think is starting to slip a little bit now.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas Genesis, I mean, the loss of Gabriel and Phil coming in, really, man, they're still like a real progressive band though.
Yeah.
You know, they're still, I can't believe it, man. You know, for them to lose them and still continue on this quality that they're going on, you know. I mean, it's the Trick of the Tail. It's like great album, man.
Oh yeah,
I mean, out of the Collins era albums, that might be my favorite Collins era album. You know? So great album, man. I got to go with Genesis on this one too.
Yeah, I went Genesis on that one too. And 76, we're going to go with "Wind and Withering" by Genesis.
I actually have that too.
Do you? That's awesome.
And it's signed by Steve Hackett.
Of course it is.
But yeah, this is cool too, man.
Mine signed by the guy that owned it before me.
This is a great album too, man.
Yeah. Again, you know, and it's a shame that Hackett leaves after this one.
Yeah.
Because the only thing he wanted was to have more say.
Yeah.
More say in the music.
I think him and Tony Banks really butted heads, man.
Yeah.
You know,
he wanted more of a guitar sound to it, which is the parts that I was loving the most.
Yeah.
And they butted heads too much where one had to go. We all know who that was. And to me, that hurt the next album after this one.
Yeah.
But When and Withering, the tracks on here, Your Own Special Way, Blood on the Rooftops, Afterglow, dude.
Afterglow, yeah.
Ah,
Some good ones on there, man.
yes. Um, on the 11th Earl of the Mar.
Yeah.
This stuff was still with those long titles that they weren't getting away from that Gabriel era. They were still going forward.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is going to be their last album that's going to be in that prog rock sound.
Yeah,
but it
pure,
has to be.
yeah,
It
pure
has to be.
prog, That was probably their last pure prog album.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're not gonna release quality stuff after that, but
Exactly.
that one is this is the year, this is the era where changes are starting.
Yeah. For both.
But yeah, Hackett was still in full mode there. I mean, he's still terrific.
No, yeah.
And again, I think he had done another tour. I don't know if I saw this one or not. I don't remember. I gotta go back and check my ticket stub and the set list, but I think he did a tour where he was doing the Wind and Withering album as well. But I don't think that's the one that I saw them on. But yeah, I mean, he's really been covering like the Genesis Revisited. That's what he calls his tours.
Yeah.
He seems to pick like different eras or different albums to really kind of spotlight.
Man, I really hope he comes back around here.
If he comes around, man, go see him, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because I love this stuff. Against Yes, going for the one.
Naked Guy on the cover.
Yeah.
You'll see that later with Rush's Hemispheres.
Yeah, probably the same guy. Same guy. Get this: it's a single album, and they have 5, ladies and gentlemen. Count them, 5 songs
on a single album.
On a single album, 5 songs.
Yeah. Yes, we're starting to streamline here. So
yeah. Going for the one is about the only song that really sticks out to me. Maybe even Parallels.
Yeah.
But it starts to get a little. I don't want to call it poppy, but a little formulaic and a little bit lazy. I hate to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is where Yes is really starting to kind of slide a bit.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going Genesis. I'm going Wind and Withering.
I am going with Wind and Withering as well.
Yeah.
Wind and Withering as well.
Because Hackett is still firing on all cylinders there, and unfortunately, it would be his last. But I mean, he's what made that album really great, man.
Yeah, just like Trick of the Tail, man.
Yeah.
It's like he felt this kind of freedom after Peter Gabriel left. That he said, you know what, I can fill in these empty spots with my guitar playing, and he took advantage of it, and it was all for the better.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, Wind and Withering for me. I'm going with Genesis.
Yeah, me too. 1978. Like we were saying,
now punk is in full swing at this time.
Everywhere, yeah.
And you can kind of tell, like, a lot of these prog bands were like starting to notice punk. They were starting to, new wave was starting to come in.
Yeah.
And Peter Gabriel was soaking up those influences on his solo career now. You can hear it on his solo album, going forward now. This is what I call art rock now, where like it's still a little progressive, but it's streamlined down. You're hearing like a new wave influence, and an energy, even like a little bit of a punk energy in there. Even though it's not punk, it's still influencing the music a little bit. It's making these bands shorten up their songs a little bit, pick up the tempo a little bit. So I think the punk necessarily was a good thing,
You
always need a genre to come along and kick another genre in the ass to make it like relevant again. Which is, you can say the same thing about the 80s hard rock. When grunge came in, it made a lot of these bands rethink their approach to songwriting and recording albums and production and all this stuff. So you can hear at this time now, we'll talk about the Genesis album. You introduce the albums. We'll go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but you're right. Because about this time it's starting to be arena rock.
Yeah.
With Boston and Cheap Trick and
Foreigner.
Kiss and Foreigner and
Yeah.
Journey and stuff like that.
Those
They're
bands are
starting to come
take over.
out and they're starting to fill up arenas.
Yeah. Whereas progressive rock is dying out, man.
Yeah,
Definitely by this time.
And so they needed to change their sound. They just had to. Like if you were talking about punk and new wave, it's like Elvis Costello started to be the darling with that spiky sound, being mixing pop and punk together, but Genesis, and then there was 3.
I still like this Genesis album, even though Hackett left. Still, I mean, really, if you think about it, this is really their first big hit single on here. With "Follow You, Follow Me."
Yep.
That's really like the first song that really got substantial airplay for them on the radio. Whereas, Yes had a lot of already songs like, airplay. So
I never realized that this album has like freaking 11 tracks on it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that with and then there were 3, it's missing that element.
Steve Hackett.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, this is where Mike Rutherford takes over on guitar now. He starts doing the guitar on there, and it's missing that Hackett element, man. I mean, Rutherford is no Hackett,
Oh no, and Banks takes advantage of that time.
Yeah,
with his keyboard playing.
Yeah,
and which his keyboard playing is okay. It gets better into the 80s. It really does.
Yeah, and the guitar takes on a more textured approach now. It's not like
it's not a lead anymore.
It's not really at the forefront anymore. It's kind of like a little more background now. Like I said, Rutherford's he's no Steve Hackett, but I mean, he holds his own. I mean, the music is changing now, man. Yeah. I mean, they're really you can't really fault them either. They're ready to go into the 80s and try to stay relevant. And I think that album kicks Tormado's ass.
Dude, Tormado's horrible. It really is, and I hate to say that because I love Yes.
Yeah, Yes lost the plot on that one, man.
But it's the truth. But they will come back. They will make a nice comeback coming up here.
Yeah.
But man, just and I tried to like this album. I really do.
Yeah,
we did drop the needle on this one, believe it or not. We really did, and
it's not a great great Yes album.
It loses the edge on side 2. It's just gone. But yeah,
was it Patrick Moraz on keyboards there?
No. I think Wakeman comes back on this
one.
Come
back on that one? Yeah, he does. Yeah. Come back on that. Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. And it's odd that it's the such a classic lineup with Anderson, House, Squire, Wakeman, and White.
Yeah, but you can just tell like they were out of ideas, man.
Yeah, and in fact, this will be the last one with John Anderson and with Wakeman. They'll both leave, and then they'll come back later on. But for now, they will leave. So, man, this one was really hard for me, and it wasn't because they were both high quality, if you know what I mean. I might even. I don't even want to vote. But if I had to, it would have to be Genesis.
Yeah, I picked Genesis.
Tomato was just so bad.
Yeah,
it really was.
I don't think the Genesis album is as bad as the Yes one, though. I think, and then there were 3. I think is a decent album.
Yeah,
it's got
but it was a big departure.
It was a big departure. Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like anything else because again they'll change. Genesis will again shift their sound again. Hold on. Hello? We'll go back in the morning.
Okay, you don't want to go right now?
No, it's too dark.
Okay, you think he's probably okay? Well, he'll have to be okay by himself, huh?
Oh yeah. He'll be fine.
Okay. What's Willie doing?
He's with your mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he in the bed with her?
I'm in the middle of a cast.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. See when I get home.
All right, love you. Bye.
Gotta love live.
I know, right? But the thing is that we noticed that there were a couple of dash hounds
Oh
at
yeah.
the park around us, and they've been there like for 2 days.
Oh, so they're lost dogs or something.
They're lost dogs, or someone dropped them off. So my wife was able to get one, and he's here with us now. We're trying to get the second one.
Oh, okay.
But man, it's crazy. Yesterday we tried to catch him, we couldn't get him, and now he sees our cars and he takes off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was asking if I wanted to go grab him now, but it's so dark to go out there in the park right now. Because
It's heartbreaking when if somebody like just left them.
So we're gonna try and get the second one in, and then we're gonna go see if they're chipped and hopefully find the owner. If not, my house is gonna look like Kate Dore's house with all these dogs and cats running around. All right, so we both went on Genesis on that one.
Yeah. So
And-
what's the tally here?
I don't know. I don't have a pen.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty close.
Okay.
It's just pretty close. I'll go ahead and we'll tally towards the end here. I got a pen here somewhere. We'll get the tally in. 1980. This one's kind of tough for me.
This is a tough one too, man.
Drama.
Because I actually like these two albums a whole lot.
Yes, I love Drama.
Drama's great, man.
It's one of their heavier albums.
Yeah. And
Steve Howe really kicks ass on here.
The addition of the Buggles there.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Really is.
Who would have thought, man? But I mean, that album kicks ass, man.
Yeah, with Machine Messiah. Does it really happen? It's the songs on here are pretty heavy. Tempest Fugit.
Yeah.
Into the Lens.
Yeah.
It really starts to really get
Into the Lens, I believe, was a Buggles song originally.
Oh, was it?
And yes, reworked it. Yeah. Well, they had the Buggles in them now. So.
Yeah. So Anderson,
Trevor Horn and
Trevor Horn and Jeff Downs.
Yeah, Jeff Downs.
And the voice is gone. John Anderson leaves, and so does Rick Wakeman, because he goes in and out. Rick Wakeman had a lot of solo projects at the time, but man, Drama kicked ass, man.
It's one of my
really
favorite,
like Drama.
actually one of my favorite Yes albums, man.
It is one of my favorites as well, but dude, it's going to go
Against
number 80, Duke.
Another great one, man.
And Duke has some pop flourishes, but it still has prog via Banks's keyboard work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And,
Great album, man. Great album. This is a tough one for me, man.
A Misunderstanding. One of their
Love that
first
song.
forays into true radio pop.
Yeah, that song. I remember there's a video for that too and everything, and even I think the very earliest days of MTV played it.
And side 2, Turn It On Again. But dude, the way that side 2 ends, it's pure prog with
Duke's Travels, right?
Duke's End. Yeah. This is Genesis Duke
versus Drama.
Genesis Drama. And I know which way I'm going already. I know which way I'm going.
This is tough for me, man. This is tough for me. I think Duke is going to edge it out, though, man. For me, as much as I love Drama, man, I think Duke edges it a little bit for me, man.
I'm still taking Drama on that one.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll take Drama.
Yeah. And I love Drama, man.
Yeah.
Again, this is a one that could go either way. Like tomorrow, I might be picking Drama over Duke, but I don't know. I'm gonna
hear him tonight.
I'm gonna go Duke tonight because if I don't, Patrick Bateman will probably kill me from American Psycho. He's got the great line in there about Genesis Duke. I mean, if you ever watched that movie,
I've just seen it a couple of times, so I'm not very versed on their saying,
you got to pull up the scene where he's talking about where he's talking about Phil Collins and Genesis. I mean, he's like, their early work is too artsy or whatever, and but they finally came into their own with Duke.
Okay.
this is where Phil Collins' presence really starts becoming, well known and everything. I mean, it's just a whole funny shtick he goes into while he's about to have sex with like two girls. It's too funny, man. It's just,
I gotta check that out. I really do. I always hear so many good things about it, and I really need to sit down and really watch it.
I think if Kate's still watching, she knows the movie, so she knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think Kate is still watching because she just commented on the little about the dog.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think tonight I'm gonna go Duke. Yeah, as much as and this shit, man. I love drama, man. I mean, shit, Steve Howe, man. He sounds ferocious on that album.
Yeah,
it's almost like, again, this is now. See, 1980 is now when these progressive bands are really having these punk and new wave influences really reflect in their music. Because look at Drama and like how ferocious Howe's guitar is on that. It's almost kind of like I'm not saying he's playing punk, but he's got an attitude to it. He's letting that attitude like slip in. And Genesis is streamlining their sound. They're getting radio friendly now, So, but they still have the Duke's Travel, suite in there.
Yeah,
so they're still progressive. They're more progressive on Duke than they were on, and then there were three. It seems like
they really were. Yeah,
it seems like they kind of reverted back to a little bit more progressive now again.
Yeah,
Duke to me is like the perfect marriage of like their pop and progressive.
It really is. Yeah.
So,
and it flows. It's weird how it still flows pretty good.
Yeah.
And but you were talking about how that was done in 1980, and we reviewed albums for 1980. You, me, and Kate and Brad.
Yeah.
And you can almost also say that Steve Howe was playing his guitar in the vein of the new wave of British heavy metal with that lead guitar.
That was
metal,
Yeah, that was 1980. That was a big prominence as well. The new wave of British heavy metal. Yeah,
what was going on around them at the time. But 1983, man, it's crazy how they were still coinciding with their releases. Genesis finally does a self-titled album.
Good
Genesis.
Album. Good
and it's probably self-titled because it's a whole new rebirth for them, pretty much.
This is when their pop phase really starts coming in.
Yeah, it really does.
Full bore.
The song's Mama. Dude, Mama's a kick-ass song.
They did that on the 2007 tour I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's All, Home by the Sea, Second Home by the Sea, Illegal Alien, Taking It All Too Hard, A Job to Do. Dude, this is just top full of hits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Going up against 90125. I always want to say 90210. 90125 by Genesis.
Yes.
Okay, by Yes, I'm sorry. John Anderson comes back. Steve Howe leaves. Which is odd because I love Steve Howe. And when he's not here, this is Anderson, Squire, Rabin, White, and Kay. So Kay comes back.
Trevor Rabin's good too, though.
Yeah, he is. But, Steve Howe, though.
Yeah.
902, we just talked about this one. The songs on here, Owner of a Lonely Heart, one of their biggest hits of all time.
It introduced them to a whole new audience, man.
Yeah, it really did. And
I remember being a kid, man. That song was inescapable. I mean, they were like huge, man. That song was like everywhere, on MTV, on radio. It was just unbelievable. Like, I mean, and as a kid, I didn't really know Yes yet. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really my introduction to Yes was that album. You know,
Yeah,
really
exactly.
when it came on my radar.
Yeah, you're right, and it had the great. Also,
What
It
year
Can
was that?
Happen.
What year was that one?
This was 83.
Yeah, so I was 11 years old, man.
Yeah,
You know?
83. And this had "It Can Happen to You."
Yeah.
It can happen to me.
Yep.
Yeah, and Hearts was a pretty good song too, and Cinema, which was a little short. Again, you can see 10 songs on this album. What's going on with this band, But they're changing with the times, and they had to.
They had to survive, yeah.
But which one's the better album?
This is a tough one too, man, because they're both really.
It's kind of easy for me.
I'm going Yes one now.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with Genesis on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because Yes, that's when it really came on my. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
that's when it came on my radar. Like, although Genesis came on my radar a little before that, because I remember being really young and seeing Abacab on we didn't touch on Abacab, did we?
I did not touch on Abacab because Yes went from 80 to 83.
Okay, so
Abacab was in 81.
Okay, so you're staying within the years then. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything was in line until Abacab came in.
Okay.
But if
So,
you
yeah,
want I love
I remember
Abacab.
Genesis as a kid. I remember seeing the Abacab video. So really, I discovered Genesis before Yes. So,
Yeah.
But that was my first Yes, really. Yeah, Abacab, yeah.
And even if Yes did come out with an album at this time, hypothetically, I don't think it could have been better than Abacab.
Yeah, Abacab was good, man.
No, with no reply at all. Me and Sarah Jane, man on the corner.
Yeah, that's when they were really full. That's when they were really going pop.
Oh well, you can tell by the album cover.
Yeah,
with the colors.
And it's produced by Hugh Pagdam, who was doing the Police albums.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think he might have done. I think Hugh Pagdam might have done Peter Gabriel too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
look at the middle. It looks just like Synchronicity in the middle.
Yeah, there you go.
That label.
Yeah,
almost exactly like Synchronicity.
Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to 90125 and just self-titled.
Yeah.
Again, man, they're both. Again, I can go either way because that self-titled album is really good too. A lot of great pop hits on there. They're both in their full-on pop phase now, both bands. So
yeah, they really are.
But for sentimental reasons, and because that year was so big for Yes, even though Genesis was getting played. I mean, I remember hearing That's All on the radio all the time too. But I'm gonna go with Yes on that one. Like you said, you're going with Genesis. I'm going with Yes.
All right. Now next we are going to 1986. That was a big leap between 3 years, and even Yes will have 4 years between albums too. Monster album.
That was them at their peak pop phase, man. I mean,
amazing album.
That year, man, they were huge, man.
On top of the world.
Holy shit.
Against Big Generator.
Now that takes a dip for me, even though
it really big dip. Even the album cover alone.
From 90125 to that one, yeah. So it's got to be Invisible Touch for me.
Oh yeah, easily. But the thing is that you need to see at 90125 Big Generator. That was a 4-year difference. That's a big chunk of time, and how different music changed from 83 to 87. If you think about it,
it's a long time, man.
Yeah, that's a long time when it comes to rock music.
Yep.
I'm trying to see who was on this one.
To be honest with you, now it's like kind of the norm. Bands take
I
like
know.
3-4 years now between albums, which, I mean, think about it, in the 70s, man. Bands were putting 2 albums out a year sometimes,
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly.
I think because back then there was just no medium besides touring, really. I mean, like there was no TV for bands to go on. There was no MTV, no videos. I mean, everything was live and studio albums. That's it.
Yeah.
Tour, come back, take 2 weeks off, make a new album, go back on tour again.
Yeah, and just recycle, just keep on working.
Now it's just like, because touring is where the money is. You can only make money on touring now. I mean, they don't make albums as often as they do. They'll do an album, and bands will just work that album on a tour like 2-3 years, man. And then take a year off and do another album.
And it's like they'll only play like 2 or 3 songs from that album, and the rest will be the Glory Days songs. Do you know what I mean? Most bands, but
I'm even talking about newer bands too. I mean, newer bands don't. Like I said, man, what bands are really putting out like 2 albums a year anymore? There's nobody really doing that.
Neil Young.
That are even young. That are even young bands.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a big Strokes fan. I love the Strokes, but dude, it's like they release an album every 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
But on this one, on Big Generator, I was curious to see who's on here. Anderson, Tony Kaye, Trevor Rabin, and
it's still the same lineup as 90125, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Squire and White, and it's just so. I mean, just kind of dead in the water. It really is.
There's might be like 2 songs that are probably pretty good on there.
Yeah. But
I remember my older brother getting that CD. And it was like, I remember, what was the one song on there? I don't have the track listing in front of me. Can you go over the track listing?
Yeah, sure, of course. I sure can. A Rhythm of Love.
Yeah, I remember that song getting airplay.
Yeah.
That song was a single.
Rhythm of Love. No, that's the Scorpions.
Yeah. But there's another song too. Like go down the track list.
Oh yeah. It's got Rhythm of Love, Big Generator, Short High, Aim Low, Almost Like Love.
Shoot High, Aim Low. I think that's another one that
got airplay or was released as a single.
Yeah.
And Almost Like Love, Love Will Find a Way.
That one sounds familiar too. I think that one might have been a single as well.
Okay.
Love Will Find a Way.
Love Will Find a Way. Yeah. Final Eyes, I'm Running, Holy Lamb, Song for a Harmonic Convergence. Huh.
I don't think I've played that album in probably 30 years, man. I need to check it out again. I haven't listened to it in a long time, so.
But I'm gonna have to go with Invisible Touch on this one.
Invisible Touch, man. They were like. I mean, they were like pop kings at that time.
The title track, Tonight. Such a great song. Land of Confusion, it's just okay. But Into
the video
Deep,
was great.
Yeah. But their ballads, Into Deep, Throwing It All Away.
Yeah.
And Domino.
Yeah.
Has that still has that reintroduction of prog.
Yeah. Everyone, even their pop albums had a song or two that had that prog-ish
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
I mean, it never really left their system completely, The thing around this time now is because Phil is releasing soul albums, and really the Phil soul albums and the Genesis albums are starting to sound kind of the same,
Yeah.
They were both really poppy, and
it could have been on a Phil album.
Yeah, it could have been
those songs came on a Phil album.
I mean, his presence was so dominating now at the time.
It really was, and Genesis had to. I don't want to say take it, but that's just the way it was. They want to keep on going.
Hey, listen, when the money's coming in by the truckloads, you're gonna go with it.
yeah, you're not gonna.
I don't really care who you are, man.
You're not going to say, you know what, I don't like the direction we're going.
Yeah. I don't like the mansion that I can buy with this truckload of money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I liked Invisible Touch a lot. It really, really reeled me in. At the time, I was 12.
yeah.
Yeah, and 86, man, that's when so much music was breaking out for me. And we got to do a best of 86. That would be fun.
That's a damn good year, man.
Yeah. The last we're going to do is 1991. I'm not going to touch the last Genesis. This is where I'm going to stop. We Can't Dance by Genesis. Great album. Really good. Against, yes, with Union.
Yeah, it's got to be Genesis on this one for me.
Yeah, the same with me. But what was interesting with Union? What was very interesting was John Anderson, Bill Buford, Steve Howe, Tony Kaye, Trevor Rabin, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, Alan White.
Yeah.
They brought everybody in here. It was just so combobulated.
It's like a double band,
Yeah, and not enough room for what everybody wanted to do on Union.
My friend got to see them on that tour, though. I didn't see them, but my friend saw them.
Yeah,
and they played in the round with the stage in the center of the arena with all of them on stage. He said that the tour of the show was really, really good.
I bet, especially with all of them playing almost everything that you want to hear by the appropriate musicians. Was switching out from album to album of the 70s and switching them out. Hell yeah. But Genesis with We Can't Dance right here, they're starting to bring back a little bit of element of prog on here.
It's still very popular.
Yeah, it's still poppy, but songs like No Son of Mine, man, that's such an emotional album song. I love No Son of Mine.
Yeah, I remember that video too.
Yeah. Jesus, He Knows Me, Driving the Last Spike.
Yeah.
That was pretty proggy. I never liked the song I Can't Dance. I thought it was too childish for them.
To me, I liked it. It showed a humorous side of them. So,
yeah.
I mean, the video was pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, Phil was a humorous guy, man. You could tell, like, in a lot of his solo songs and stuff like that. Even though, he had some good, serious stuff, too.
But then, like, in his videos, he played the part of the Joker and, that. And I do like Hold On My Heart. That's a great ballad by them. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
With a little bit of jazzy there at the end. And I'm going to go with Genesis as well.
Yeah.
If you give me a moment, let me start to tally.
It's funny that that's pretty much Genesis's last album, Like, I mean, they had one more with Ray Wilson.
I've never heard that. Have you?
I have. It's not that great, but it's not a total stinker either. They actually reverted back more prog-ish again.
Really?
That
that's what I've read. I don't know. Just without Phil and just didn't seem right, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, like, I mean, it's funny, like, that's really kind of the last Genesis album, but Yes continues on making a bunch of albums after that, so really Yes kind of continued on where Genesis kind of just stopped dead in the water pretty much after that.
Yeah, it really was. And then but I liked a lot. I didn't the last good Phil Collins album to me was But Seriously.
That's a good
album. When he got to Disney and Tarzan and all that, I really did lose a lot of interest.
Yeah, so did I. I did the same. But yeah, But Seriously was his last.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With I Wish It Would Rain Now with Clapton on there. It's a great album. Okay.
I love that one song on there. The real what's the song that had the video on there?
Something happened on the way to heaven.
No.
Oh,
Why am I brain farting? I think he actually opened up his solo show that I saw with this song too, and I can't think of the damn name of it now.
was it that ballad about the homeless?
Yes, that one. Well, and it was a great video. It's actually a pretty emotional song, man.
Yeah,
When
it
I hear
really is.
that, I really,
Another Day in Paradise.
yeah, that's it, man. That's
Yeah.
a great. That's anybody who says that Phil can't write a song that's like with a lot of meaning to it, man. Listen to that song, man.
Yeah.
It really is emotional. You think about the homeless problem, and he really touches on that. And he even says himself in that song, he touches in a song like, yeah, we're all of us that are well off, whatever we're living, it's just another day in paradise for us.
For us, yeah.
But
And
like,
if you
think
really
about somebody that lives on the street and is homeless.
it's crazy.
The struggles that they have to go through just to survive day by day. It sucks, man.
Like the things that we take for granted of just having a pillow.
We take a lot for granted. We have a roof over our head,
Yeah. Central
right there,
air, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. So
and I always thought that also on Genesis on the album, we were just talking about it, but the man on the corner,
Abacab.
Huh?
Abacab.
Is that on Abacab? Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
But that too reminds me of someone being homeless. So on the tally, did you go Nursery Crime or the Yes album?
I went the Yes album.
Okay, and on Foxtrot and Fragile, I think you went Foxtrot.
I went Foxtrot.
And I went Fragile. I'm selling England by the pound. You went close to the edge. I went England with a pound.
Yeah, I went close to the edge on that one.
The Lamb Lies Down Broadway, you went that way, and I went Yes.
Lamb. Yeah, I went Lamb.
Wow. Man, we really did a trick of the tail. Both of us did that.
Yep.
When and Withering, we both did that one. And then there were 3 in Toronto. We both went for that one.
Yeah.
On 1980, we split on Duke and Drama.
Yeah, I went Duke. You went Drama.
Yeah. And on...
I think after that, pretty much... I think after that, it's pretty... Well, I went 90125. You went...
I went Genesis.
Yeah. And then I think after that was Genesis all the way, I think, right?
Yeah, for the last 2.
Yeah.
But, man, we really did go on both sides. This was an interesting show. It really was. Yeah. But...
Great show, though. It was a good topic.
Yeah, it really was.
Because I haven't really listened. Well, I haven't really listened. Genesis I've listened to more than Yes lately. So I really want to dive back in a little bit the Yes catalog. Because I've been listening to a lot of prog lately now again. Because like I said, after seeing that Transatlantic show, it kind of reinvigorated me. So I've been listening to a lot of prog lately. So I'm going to delve back into the Yes catalog a little bit, and check it out again. I haven't listened to those albums, some of those albums in a long time. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, we're going to have to it looks like Genesis won over Yes, but it was so close.
Yeah.
Because the first 3 albums, we really did just go yes.
Yeah.
And then we start to split in the middle, and then we start to pick Genesis towards the end there. Because we talked about it. Yes, was going to start to just bring out material that was not up to par for them. And Genesis moved ahead in their new sound. Yeah. And they were very successful with it.
Yeah.
And like you said, they still put in little sounds of prog to keep the prog heads still engaged. And with doing that, it's hard not to like their pop songs.
Yeah.
When it came to them. So we both came up with Genesis, but it was so close over Yes. We both agreed on that. This was such a good show. Thank you for joining me, Al. I know it was a short notice.
As usual, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very
Oh,
much.
yeah, of course, man. This was great.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's the next show?
next show is next
Zappa?
Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Top 10 Frank Zappa albums.
I'm definitely in on that one, man.
And I am going to say yes on the live albums. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
Because with Zappa, his live albums are completely different from anything you can think of. So, so I'm going to go ahead and
that's gonna be a fun
live
show, man.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
Zappa, shit, man. He's got so many to choose from. You have to make it a top 10. You can't do a full discography on him because it would take friggin' 40 hours. You know?
Yeah. So, but I got my little era of his that I really enjoy.
I do too.
Yeah.
So,
there's some years there that I just his orchestra pieces doesn't really catch me as much as his rock era.
Yeah.
And also his well, we'll get to that next week. But yes, next week at 8 o'clock, next Wednesday, the top 10 of Frank Zappa will be me, Al, and also a couple of others. I believe Brad wanted in on that as well.
Yeah.
Brad Dahl. So we'll see if we can accommodate the time for him. And anything else you want to add, Al?
No, you know what? On my YouTube channel, I'm gonna have another I broke 500 subscribers now.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I want to do like a little special show on that. Kind of celebrating that. I'm gonna do another contest to give away like a vinyl album or something. So I'm gonna try to think of something, but that's coming up real soon. So I want to commemorate like the 500. It's kind of a milestone, so
it really is. Yeah.
And I really notice like every day, like there's new subscribers. I guess like the word spreads now when you start getting up to that amount. Thank you, Kate. When you get up to that amount, I mean, I guess people start sharing your videos or, word starts getting around. Because I mean, every day, like I'm looking at I'm up to 525 now, which only took like probably 2 days,
Wow. Yeah.
So like, it seems like, every time I look at it, there's another subscriber, there's another one. So I guess it's because I'm putting up complete concerts too, which attracts a lot of people.
It really does.
But I want to start putting more video content of my own. Like, I want to do, start showing off like discographies, more doing like, my rankings and stuff like that. And I want to start incorporating you and Kate into some of my shows too.
Oh yeah, of course. Anytime, I will be more than happy to.
Yeah, I want to start like kind of doing, or like I'm the host or whatever, and I got like some ideas like on the back burner of like some cool shit. So, but that's gonna be coming up. So yeah,
that's great. Let me know and ask me, and I will do whatever you want to do.
Cool.
I'm so happy to do that.
So yeah, so I'm gonna be having a giveaway soon, and then we'll go from there. So hey Mark, what's up?
Hey Mark, how's it going? All right. So our tally, we went Genesis over yes, but it was an interesting run. And for y'all who saw the show, could tell when the eras were great for one band and great for another, and then switched back. It was a very interesting show. Yeah. Once again, thanks a lot, Al. Thank you all for out there that watched us.
Yeah. Until next time, man.
Until next time. Thank you, everybody out there. And thank you, Facebook, and thank you, YouTube, and thank you, Al. I will talk to you throughout the week, and I'll see you next week for Frank Zappa's Top 10.
Can't wait, man.
See you guys later. Thanks, Kate, for watching us, and thanks, Mark, for watching us. And thank you all for out there. We did see 5 or 6 people at one time, so thank you all very much. We really do appreciate everybody out there.
Cheers, take everybody. Care. Take care.
Take care, man.
All right.
I'm sorry. Let's go to bed, Lou.